England's Euro 2020 campaign kicks off with a win. A 1-0 win granted, but it all counts the same. Now, I don't like being critical of the national team, or Southgate and his staff for that matter, but reflection in any setting is important, so it's only right that we analyse the opening performance of England's Euro 2020 campaign. Now, this is not intended to reflect any negativity whatsoever, because I actually feel positive about the squad in this tournament. In fact, in the build-up to the tournament, I've been wholeheartedly optimistic about the squad, as can be heard on BBC Radio Stoke, link in the description. With England breaking their curse and beginning the Euros tournament with a win for the first time ever, you can't fault the players and staff too much, but there's always room for improvement. So, is 4-2-3-1 the answer? When the finalised squad was released, I predicted a 4-2-3-1 setup due to the selection of 3 out-and-out defensive midfielders in Jordan Henderson, Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips. Of course, with Henderson still seeking match fitness, the duo of Phillips and Rice was the obvious selection. The double pivot was integral to achieving a clean sheet against the tricky Croats. It ensured that there was flexibility throughout the team without sacrificing balance in defence. In possession, England often shifted into a 4-3-3 system, which saw the likes of Calvin Phillips progressing slightly further up the pitch as Declan Rice slotted into a holding midfield role. As we've seen this season with Pep Guardiola's Manchester City side, flexibility is key in achieving greater numbers in attack. Over the course of the season, we've seen João Cancelo assume an inverted free roam role in which he's given licence to join the midfield and perform as an additional central midfielder. This setup saw City play with a back 3 when in possession, allowing them to create a vicious overload in attack. It is worth noting that while City's main formation was 4-3-3, the same can be done in an initial 4-2-3-1 setup. At times during the game against Croatia, England's Kieran Trippier, deployed as a left-back, pushed up in a slightly inverted role. But it's worth noting that it was nowhere near as extreme as Cancelo for City. Meanwhile, Walker progressed into the opponent's final third a handful of times, but it was always through overlapping runs, forcing him out wide with limited options. In my opinion, there was a lack of inverted runs throughout our fullbacks, and I believe it's the fundamental reason as to why we didn't control the game in the second half. These inverted runs would have offered an overload in midfield and would have allowed for greater control of the game overall, something that we failed drastically to achieve in the second half. Due to the versatility of this 4-2-3-1 formation, allowing England to progress with the ball in an adapted 4-3-3 system when in possession, the holding midfielder in Declan Rice should have dropped between Mings and Stones to form an out-and-out back 3. Of course, with this English overload in the centre of the pitch, defensive organisation is key in achieving balance. As such, when Croatia reassumed possession, a low block can easily be incorporated through Declan Rice dropping between the 2 centre-backs to create a back 5, with the 2 wing-backs providing the most width. Phillips and Mount would sit just in front of Rice, whilst Kane would drop very slightly deeper than Foden and Sterling, as he usually does. In fairness to Southgate, the low block that England set up with in the second half worked really well and frustrated the Croats by limiting options. It's this sort of defensive system that's seen Chelsea nullify attacking threat this season, assuming a low block with an organised back 5. So, what's the verdict? Well, overall, you have to acknowledge that Southgate got the majority of decisions correct. A win is a win, and although control was lost in the second half, you have to bear in mind the 27-degree heat conditions that prevented our usual pressing. In terms of personnel, I would have liked to have seen Jack Grealish come on for Phil Foden instead of Marcus Rashford, who I believe is carrying a slight knock. I thought that the introduction of Bellingham for Kane was spot on, as it allowed us to preserve Kane, who was rendered impractical in those last 10 minutes, as England looked to break on the counter, thanks to pressure from Croatia. That's why I was a little shocked to see Calvert-Lewin brought on for the final few minutes in these conditions. This is where I would have looked to bring on Bukayo Saka, who's comfortable nullifying the opposition and offers a plethora of pace for counter-attacking transitions. So, to answer the question and achieve the purpose of this video, is 4-2-3-1 the answer for England in this Euro 2020 tournament? Well, based on the personnel in the squad, the attacking options that we possess, as well as the evidence of our performance against Croatia, I believe so. The versatility that this system offers both in and out of possession suits England well, and combines solidity with fluidity, with the latter being the key ingredient in creating this much desired overload in attack. If you've enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe. That lets us know you want more. And while you're there, you may as well click the link in the description. That'll take you to our website for more engaging and unique football content written from fans from all over the world.